Hello! It's time for another video! So I promised a Q&A a couple weeks back, and before that a few years back, and before that 6 years back. So I've decided it's finally time to deliver on that 6-year promise and bring you a brand new Q&A 2025. I don't even remember when my last Q&A was. I think it was in 2016, so it's almost been 10 years without a Q&A. So without further ado, let's get into the questions that you left me on my recent video. Do any of your OCs have voice claims besides you voicing them? Not really. I am a one-man band. I make my LPS videos by myself, but as for non-LPS characters, I could see myself making some voice claims for them someday. Do you plan on remaking skits as well? The short answer is possibly, and the long answer is, back in 2019, I had a moment where I realized I was remaking way too many videos, and about half of my content was made up of me just remaking old works instead of delivering fresh content. There's nothing wrong with remaking old content. I mean, most of the series that I have today are remakes of old works. In general, I try to keep my content pretty fresh. That said, there are some old 10 things and 10 types videos that I still want to remake, but a lot of the ideas that I have written down are new, fresh ideas that I've never explored before. And as for my other skits, I might take inspiration from some of them for modern day videos, but there aren't any that I can think of off the top of my head that I'd be interested in remaking. It's more 10 things, 10 types, and series. And what do you think of the Amazing Digital Circus? It's cool. I'm not particularly obsessed with it. I watch it whenever a new episode comes out. If you could only pick one series, new or old, to have on your channel, what would it be and why? I mean, I feel like I have to pick Tattoo Crew because that's the series that I'm working on right now. It's a representation of my modern day skill and what I like to do for story and for characters, even though there's not much of a story for that series in particular. And right now it is the only series on this channel, so that's what I would go with. But if we're talking about the old series, I think I would have to pick Camp Riverwood because it's kind of the most iconic to me. It has a lot of history behind it, I guess, and it's just one of my older series that went a really long way. I'm most attached to that one personally, and if I had to pick between the original and the remake, I feel like steering towards the remake because it is a lot better, but the old one also has all that history behind it, and I don't want to erase it like I started to in the past because I deleted the first 9 episodes, which is such a shame. I was deleting them as I was making the remake, and then I started to regret it, and I was like, I'm erasing history right now. Why am I doing this? A lot of your old videos are lost to time, but if you could, which would you love to rewatch? Hopefully I'm allowed to pick a series because that is technically several videos. There was a version of Sheila Goodwill that went to episode 30 something or episode 40, maybe episode 50. It's been a long time, so I can't remember. It was the longest version of the series. It wasn't the first. It was before the 2016 Sheila Goodwill that we reviewed recently, and I would just love to revisit it because I can't really remember a lot of the plot points. I really regret losing that series. It just went on for so long. It has the most history behind it, more than anything on my channel. Maybe I should have picked Sheila Goodwill for the last one. What do you think of your old Alimation/Squidster videos? I don't know, man. I haven't revisited that channel since 2020. I'm actually thinking of making a video of it someday, just talking about that era of my time on YouTube. So basically in late 2017, I was getting really into the animation meme community and I wanted to make some of my own. I never fucking did. So I made a channel planning on doing that, and instead of animation memes, I ended up making a bunch of art commentary, rant videos, and rants about the animation meme community, which is a corner of the internet that we just love. God, it's so fun and wholesome and lovely and a great place for kids. If you can't tell, I'm not super fond of that era, specifically because most of that took up 2018, and 2018 was literally the worst year of my life. I was just a huge asshole, to be honest. But also, It was just a bad mental year for me. It was not my moment. A lot of the videos were super immature and really stupid and had dumb points. I don't want to be too harsh on my younger self, but 2018 just hits different. It was not my finest moment. Basically, I guess look forward to a video in the future where I might talk a little bit about that channel. What's your favorite LPS series that you are currently working on? Well, obviously Tattoo Crew has made the most progress considering it's released now, and episodes are actively being filmed and created. Out of the other projects that I'm working on, maybe don't have as much progress made, but I guess my favorite out of all of them would have to be Focus. I guess partly because of the nostalgia, but also just because it has been being worked. That's not English. It's been being worked on. It's been being worked on? It has been worked on. So for a while now, I've been working on Focus. I've been writing and rewriting Focus for years. In my time off of LPSTube, that was the series that was mostly on my mind. It has a lot of history. It has a ton of different characters and different elements that were going to be used and then were scrapped or this and that. There's been a lot of trial and error with that series, so I guess I'm just the most attached to it, and I like the idea of just a series about teenagers growing up and graduating high school, going out into the real world. Melody she struggles a lot with socializing with other people. She wants to be independent, but then she grows attached to people. Gwen, who's already really attached to people and struggling to let go of those people, they bounce off each other that way, and I just really like the story and the characters that surround it. And do you ever plan to react to Abnormal Pain? Absolutely, it's actually the next series that I'll be reviewing. When that will be, I'm not sure. I've gotten really into the swing of things with making actual LPS videos, but my goal is to at least start working on it before the end of the year. What are your thoughts on the G7 LPS? So I haven't actually managed to get my hands on a single one. I'm not currently in a place where I'm really collecting new LPS anyways, simply because of finances and trying to save my money. But hopefully one day I do get the chance to obtain some G7 LPS. I've heard some pretty mixed opinions. Design-wise, I think they're really hit or miss. Sometimes they make some of the cutest LPS, some really neat and really cool designs, and other times they make the ugliest shit in the world. But there are some that I do have my eyes on and hope to get someday. I haven't seen any in stores near me, so I don't know why I can't find them anywhere. Anyway, here are some of the designs that I really like and some of the LPS I'd like to get someday. Do you have any plans to go to more LPS conventions? Like I said, I'm trying to save money right now, so probably not. Do you make LPS customs? This is probably the only one I've started that I like, but the paint job is messy and I haven't gotten to the eyes, and I've never been much of a painter. How soon do you plan to remake Fabulous Fables, and do you think the old series still holds up? Hell no! Fabulous Fables wasn't one of my worst series, but that's not really saying much. The plot didn't know what it wanted to be. There was a new plot point every 5 episodes. Things got really stupid once they created the fake account for Matilda. All of that was just gibberish nonsense, not how the world works, not how the internet works, not how school works. It didn't make any sense at any given point. The characters weren't particularly likable. Matilda and Chris were both awful to each other. I do not give two shits about their relationship. Jennifer and Edna are flat evil for absolutely no reason. Mindy was pressured into dating this guy by the guy and everyone around her for no reason other than shipping purposes. And then, not only that, but her sister blackmailed her with CP. And then I tried to make it nuanced. It's not good. But I will review it one day, just not sure when yet. As for Behind Closed Doors, which is modern day Fabulous Fables, its new name, it is actually the least progressed series since I last mentioned it. Like I said, I don't think you should expect updates on it anytime soon. Sorry about that, but other series have just been easier to work on or quicker to work on, and I just have no idea what exactly I want BCD to be today. But I will say, for a little update, the series no longer takes place in high school. It will be taking place in university, because I don't have a single series that does, and I'm kind of tired of all the high school bullshit. Have you seen any of the LPS cartoons? Not officially, but Meow Manor does manage to get stuck in my head sometimes. What software do you use to draw? I think it's called Metabang Paint Pro. I did use Fire Alpaca for quite a while, and then I ran into a big technical clusterfuck. So basically, I wanted to use customary fonts because the ones available in Fire Alpaca were just kind of lame, so I ended up finding a website called FontSpace, and it worked for me just fine for a little while. I was downloading fonts, wasn't having any problems, did some research, no one had any issues with it. And then one day, I think I was trying to type some text with one of the new fonts I had just downloaded, and the font just wasn't showing up, and then like the text wasn't working or something. So I closed the app, opened it, same thing was still happening. So I decided to uninstall and try to reinstall, but then when I tried to reinstall, my computer insisted that there was a virus inside the app, so I just cut my losses and decided to use something else. Fire Alpaca is virus-free, and for a while I didn't have any problems with FontSpace. I don't know if I just downloaded a bad one or something. Have you played Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 yet? I have not bothered getting around to it. My interest isn't there right now, but I'm sure one day I'll look into it. You said in the past that you were planning on going to college. What majors are you interested in? I guess just art? Drawing, specifically? I don't really know. It kind of depends on the college, because certain ones have different, classes. But specifically, the thing I'm more interested in, art-wise, is, comics and character design. Which artists have inspired your style? Acid Fangs, Sashly, Linksy Dinksy, Jackie, I don't know how to pronounce it. And will you make an updated LPS collection video? Probably eventually, but not at all like how I used to. I used to go through each individual LPS and talk about my entire history with it and my full opinion on it. That just takes too damn long. I'm not sure how exactly I would do it. Some YouTubers like to just pan the camera, and I don't really want to do that. I want to yap about them. Do you have a favorite music artist, and what's your favorite song by them? Queen all the way, and my favorite is probably, I don't know. But whenever I'm asked this question, I feel the need to bring up Rain Must Fall from the Miracle album. It's one that I really appreciate, it has this fun, upbeat, tropical sound to it, and I really like the lyrics as well. Really underrated. Out of all of your OCs, who are your favorites? Well, I love all my children equally. Okay, I guess I'll go down the list of my favorite character from each of my projects. We have Dylan from Tattoo Crew, Ginger from I'm So Over This, which used to be Hierarchy, which used to be Sheila Goodwill, Scarlett from Behind Closed Doors, Kimberly from Little Vigilante, which used to be LPS Impact, which used to be Danielle vs. Kimberly, Mr. Bronstad from Mr. Bronstad's class, Melissa from Ambitions, you don't know a lot about her yet, but you will one day, Sally from Prime of Your Life, and I can't pick between Melody and Gwen from Focus, I can't. As for non-LPS OCs, I really like Poppy Thundermuffin, Stinky Cheaper Crumbs, both tunes based on Toontown, and I really like Sunset and Darcy. Which characters would you consider the best and worst in any of your LPS series? Well, Joshua from Love is Hate was pretty bad. Sheldon from The Other Life was bad. We had Dakota from Camp Riverwood. Sally's dad from Abnormal Pain. Wait a minute. Those are all the same LPS. I don't know why this pug was cursed with the absolute worst character roles. We have a toxic and manipulative abuser who is horrible to his boyfriend. We have an insane psychopath serial killer who kills just for money because he needs it and we're expected to feel bad for him. We have a homophobic psychopath who is on a journey to kill these two women for being lesbians and breaking his butt. And then we have A man who basically kidnapped his children from his wife and took them to God knows where, hours from school, and then is expected to be the good guy. There were some other bad ones here and there. We had Derailed from Fabulous Fables, who once again pressured Mindy into doing things she didn't want to do, to the point that she was actually convincing herself that she was attracted to him. And again, we had Cindy, who I mentioned earlier, who was taking advantage of her sister with very inappropriate images of her. As for the best characters, it's kind of hard to say since I was a child and didn't know how to make good characters. But I'm still really attached to pretty much the entire Camp Riverwood cast. I liked in the remake how Melody had a bit more of a temper, and she had a lot of respect for herself, like she didn't take anyone's shit. But she simultaneously sucked in that series, which we will cover in the later review. Bridget from Abnormal Pain was also pretty chill and really deserved a break from being the therapist friend. I also really liked Scarlet from Fabulous Fables. She was pretty much one of the only reasonable and kind characters. She was very nurturing towards other people and very polite and... Oh god, Scarlet, get away from that man! He's the cursed pug! And what should I definitely avoid when making characters? I think I would avoid, only focusing on, the tragic parts of their backstory. It can kind of take away from, who they actually are. What are their hobbies? What's their personality like? How do they interact with other people? How do they interact with technology? What kinds of foods and drinks do they like? What do they like to do for fun? Just all those little things in between are all so important. Look at real people, I guess I would say. Everyone has their own little quirks with the way that they talk, with the way that they walk, with how they interact with other people, the things that they like to do for fun, the place they work at and how they interact with it. There are so many little things that go into people. People are inherently complex, and I think your characters should be similar. At the same time, avoid getting too overwhelmed with too much information. One thing I like to do is write up a little questionnaire for my characters, and it's basically just a list of questions for them to answer. Basic things such as, where'd you go for school? What do you like to do for fun? Who's your family? How do you talk to other people? How do you respond to praise and criticism? All kinds of little questions that say something about them. That way I can kind of keep the information organized, and when answering those questions I like to type as if I'm the character, and it gives them that extra personality. Those are some of the things I've taken into account when writing characters lately. And finally, how do you make your sets? Oh my god, you're giving me an excuse to yap about my sets? Thank you. I would honestly like to make a whole video talking about how I make my sets and props, and how I make different rooms depending on the setting. And with that, I'd like to make more DIYs in the future than I have in the past. But as for the question itself, I'm going to use the Tattoo Cruise set as an example. We have a lot of this that I made specifically for this series. Obviously the background, which we will go over, was made specifically for this, as well as this little kind of rug flooring pattern. We have the chairs and the tables for all the little stations for the artists to work at. The tables, we have this little jar of pencils. We've got just little random bottles. I originally made them to be nail polish, but I feel like they just kind of work with the setting. I don't know what they're supposed to be exactly. We also have little drawings because they're artists and they probably have some sketches lying around. We have some scissors, we've got some palettes, just general artsy things. We have April's desk, the front desk that she works at. We have this laptop that I also made specifically for the series. I just used foam paper and construction paper for that little black screen, and then I just kind of drew on the foam with pencil or Sharpie. It didn't come out the best, but I don't give a shit. And then I simply glued some scrapbook paper to the back. This is the front desk that I accidentally made gigantic. It's pretty big, dude. I followed this tutorial by Pipe Cleaner Crafts, my beloved. Now, as for the background or wall here, it's actually just a big piece of cardboard from a box, and I glued a bunch of scrapbook paper to it from a particular packet. This is the packet that I used for the Tattoo Cruise set. As you can see, it all follows a pretty similar color scheme, similar patterns, and I wanted to use that because it helps the theming kind of all tie together, even if I use several different things. So it can stay unique throughout, but it also still doesn't clash with each other. I also have random little sketches and drawings on the wall because, again, they are artists. They have their work on display. Got kind of a butterfly motif here because the packet does as well. We have random little sayings here that felt really in character for Judy. Oh, beautiful. Dream big. One of a kind. You can be anything you want to be. And watch this. Her office is on the exact same thing, it's just on the other side. We have her little certificate, her degree here from college. Strong is the new pretty, create happiness, love you. She's got all this shit on her wall. Now, I used to do rooms with like a full floor, it'd be kind of like a half box, but nowadays, they can be difficult to store, and sometimes like the floor can be kind of wobbly, it can be difficult to work with. This is from my fast food video, and it was a little difficult. Fun fact, this is Gwen's room for focus way in the future. I made it a little bit back in the day. Kind of follows like a color scheme, as you can see, to make it cohesive. And while I like these and I want to use them, I think from now on, I might just do like a wall, because it still kind of creates that room. You just create props and maybe some little flooring items to bring it all together, but just the wall is so easy to store. Like, I can just stick this in a drawer somewhere. You can't do that with these. As for like the flooring pieces or the little rugs or whatever you want to call them, I basically cut out more scrapbook paper, but I didn't want to leave it as is because it's really flimsy. It'll get folded and wrinkled, so I just glued it to some cardstock, which is basically like a firm paper. Also, another fun fact, I actually have a little baggie full of Graham! Oh no, the brain rot is bad. Gwen's props. Dude, I'm keeping that in. We have like a bed in here, we've got a table, more scrapbook paper, more cardboard, lifesavers. We've got a bunch of props in here. That's where that shit went. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I was too picky. I didn't want any repeat props in my videos. I wanted people to like look at that vanity and say, oh, that's Gwen's room. But like, I don't think that anymore. I think the whole room makes it unique, not every individual prop. As for my regular videos, I always have scrapbook paper in the background, sometimes as flooring too. And I kind of got this tip from PuppyLover863, but I like to clip it onto a random surface. I don't have just like a piece of cardboard or a frame, so I just have this big ass binder I found lying around the house. I used to just tack them up on the wall, but it's very far from like where I'm sitting, and I don't want to have to reach all the way over here to bobble my LPS. So I do it this way so I can sit closer. Basically, it all comes down to two main components, the background and the props. I would really like to make some DIY someday for like really basic props such as desks, beds, chairs, just basic everyday furniture items that you will probably need for just about any video. Then we can get into some more complicated stuff. We can get into full rooms and sets, so look forward to that in the future because I think it'd be fun. And that is all the questions that I wanted to answer today, probably for the best considering how long this video probably is. Thank you guys for watching. Happy 10 years, even though it's been 3 months since the anniversary now, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!